Coalesce podcast. My name is Grant.
And I'm Meg.
And today we are going to take a look at how to add the built-in audit logging that just kind of works right out of the box and is really simple to implement. And what this is going to give you is a really nice way to see, and we don't have users yet. And once we add users, we will go ahead and go back and kind of modify this. So we're not going to be able to see who did the changes, but we will be able to see when changes were made and to what fields and to what tables. So Meg, what do we need to pull into our app to go ahead and give us some audit logging capability?
Yeah, so it is very easy, and we're actually just going to be kind of following the docs here. So if you wanted to follow along the docs, you can just kind of go to this doc topic, audit logging. But we'll go ahead and kind of go through it because I think it is valuable to see where these things all are. So the first step is we are going to go over to our data project. And we're going to add a new NuGet package. So here in the docs, it gives you the exact package that you want to add. And you can plop it right under your Coalesce package. So it's just intellitech.coalesce.auditlogging, and then it uses the same Coalesce version as all your other stuff. So that's...
You could have gone into the NuGet Package Explorer.
Yeah, and you can look it up there.
So you can do that.
Yeah, but it's good to kind of do it this way because then you can specify that version. That's
gotcha. Yep. Right, because otherwise you will get a specific version of it. So this is, in this case, it's really nice. And you could actually use the same thing for those packages up above. I could use for that, in our case, 8.x kind of packages.
Yeah,
if you ever want to upgrade the whole thing.
On the same here.
You can do that too. So
because I think this is actually 1 or 2 versions behind now.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe more.
On a regular basis.
Yeah, 8 now. 0.8. Okay, so next thing that we have to do is we're going to go into our data project, into our models, because we're going to actually make a new model for our audit log, right? As Grant was saying, this hooks into EF, and we're going to make something called an audit log model. And what this guy is going to do is it's going to be public, and it's going to have the base class. So you don't need to use this base class, but there is a base class called default audit log that kind of implements the audit log interface for you. If you didn't want to use the default audit log, just there's an audit log class or audit log interface here, which probably have to import. Oh, it's because I'm running here. Let's do that. Anyways, there's an audit log interface, but audit log. Why is this not picking?
You haven't done a package restore since you changed that file. I don't think.
But it usually does it for me. Okay, we can do a package restore here. Oh, I didn't save it either. I wonder if that was part of the issue. Usually when you save it,
it does. Restore it, great.
Maybe not. No, see, as soon as you start recording, it doesn't want to. Oh, there we go.
There you go. Now you set it.
Okay, so you have this one, or you can just do my audit log, or you can implement the interface yourself. But this is nice. It kind of implements it for you if you just want that default functionality, which I feel like for the most part you probably.
And can we go in there and look and see what that comes to?
Yeah, for sure. So let's go look at this. So this comes with it logs the description, the type, key value, kind of all these things. And then let's go look at the audit log because that has actual definitions on it, or the actual summaries on it.
Yeah, all nice.
So this is just kind of primary key, some obvious stuff like change date, the type of change. This is, if you look here, this is just an enum. So added, deleted,
modified, right?
So pretty nice. This is
for kind of your typical audit log stuff, right?
For the most part, this is all you really want to do. It's also nice because the default audit log implements your basic here that you'd want. So edit, delete, create. Right. You probably don't want to edit, delete, or create. Yeah,
exactly. These should be like set in stone. So this should be wasted jam.
And then over here, the only thing you'll really want to do is put a read attribute on it if you did have auth hooked up, and maybe just allow admins to read this. You probably don't want non-admins reading this. But we don't have admins.
So now will we get any read permissions if we don't set that?
We will. So by default, the read permissions look like this. It's authorized. And again, like we're not really, there's no real auth.
And that's really the way that everything works right out of the box.
Yeah. So this is the default permission, but it's totally okay to leave that there.
Let's go ahead and leave it on there.
Just to be very clear. So in here, you can kind of implement stuff like, this is where you track like user ID and things like that. We don't really have anything to track.
Yeah, so we don't really, and user ID isn't included as part of the default one. So if you don't have users, you can still log changes to your database.
So let's put it to the track user ID when we add a user model. There we go. So we're not going to add anything here right now.
Great.
We'll come back to this one
So
day.
now how do we get this tied into our database? Because now all we have is just a regular old model.
Yes.
We
Yep.
need to
So
tie it in.
now we want to go to our app DB context, the place you always go to tie stuff in your database. And so let's just put models and then audit log models just to keep things kind of clear. And because I am copying the docs kind of word for word, I can copy this here. And this is just going to add my audit log model that we just made. And then there's also this audit log property, which is Coalesce provided, and it just has a couple of things on there.
And this is going to give you details about new value, old value for every field that gets
Yeah,
changed.
so all kind of the names and things.
So this is pretty robust. I mean, you're going to be able to see everything that changes.
It's very nice. And it's really nice because we really aren't going to write this is really going to be a pretty short amount of code that we're going to write.
So three tables.
Yep.
We have our audit log and our auto log properties. That's it.
That's it. Now we also are going to inherit from the audit log DB context, and we're going to pass it its type. So we're going to pass it our audit log that we just made. This
is one time when multiple inheritance might actually be nice.
Yes.
But because we understand, like right now, why didn't we just derive that from DB context? Well, because you oftentimes need to actually derive other things. And when we add auth, we're going to derive from a different base class.
Yeah.
So it's always this trade-off. I mean, multiple inheritance is nice, but it's also the devil. It makes things really complicated. So in this case, we're just using an interface, but it means we're going to have to go implement some stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But it's C#, so that's what you get. The next thing we're going to do is we have this on model creating. We actually want to do the on configuring. So it's an overridable method, or this guy here. So this is just another overridable method.
This is an overridable method on the DB context.
Yeah, not on this guy, just on the DB context. So now here we can keep, we don't need to keep this based on configuring, but we can. But basically all we want to do is our options builder. We are going to use Coalesce. There you go. Use Coalesce audit logging. We're going to type it with our audit log. And then this takes in an options, I believe. Let's just look if it'll tell me. Oh yeah, it takes in some configuration information. So this, we're going to use a little lambda here, and it's going to be with argumentation, operation. We're going to actually go write another class really quick. But that is that for now. So this is another class that we're going to write. And this class, we don't really need it right now, but I'm going to write it because I think when we do auth, we're going to want it.
Okay, great.
But,
can we go back and look at something? Can we look at what that interface gives us?
Yeah, let's go look.
Because it looks like we don't have to implement anything.
No, not right now. It adds some DB. So you get to implement these two things. That's what you need.
Great. Oh, so
Yeah.
so really
if I remove this.
Got it. Then
Yeah.
because when you popped in there, it's like, oh, we don't have to do
I know.
anything.
I did the thing before I put the interface on.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm kind of looking at docs right now. So
Gotcha. Yeah,
I maybe did that out of order for what would have been
right.
helpful.
So really all that does is it just pulls in. So just to kind of explain a little bit about how this is working, right? Because we're tying into, so we have to have a context that has the audit logs and audit log properties.
Yes. Which is what
DB
this
sets
is
on there.
enforcing for you.
And then we need to also be able to tie in to where it's saving. So we get tied into the EF pipeline because you don't want to have to implement this all over the place. You just want, hey, whenever we save something or modify or delete something, we just want that automatically to go to the audit log.
Yeah.
So that's basically the way that underneath this is all working.
Yeah, and you can see here, this is taking in that T audit log, which is just the type, and then it's saying we need a DB set of that type, this guy here. And then we just always need to include this.
And then the audit log property is just whatever it is. So
yep. And then this is actually interesting too. I don't know if we'll cover this today, but this is another section in the docs. If you just scroll down a little bit to be able to suppress audit logs in some cases,
nice.
Which is maybe helpful, especially in unit testing. Yeah, and then this on configuring, this operation context is going to kind of define how to do some custom mapping for your audit log. So if you did add user information into here, cool. You can kind of do some custom mapping. So let's go add that in really quick. We'll call context. And this is going to be public. All right. And then in here, this is going to inherit from a default audit operation context. So again, like we're really not going to do very much in here, but I'm going to set it up because I think we will end up using it if we.
And we could have just used that default audit operational context as our class from in the other
Yeah,
in
yeah.
RDB context or FDB context.
Yes. Which would be totally acceptable. But again, I do think we are going to come back to this. So I'm just setting it up for now. That way we don't spend part of another episode kind of discussing what this is. And we can just focus on whatever that episode is going to be. I think we will come back here as soon as we start doing.
So there must be some things we need to override here because we see it's that there's a squiggle underneath there.
Yep. So this populate here needs to be overridden. And why is this implicit reference conversion? Okay, let me see. I'm trying to talk and do things at the same time. So let me see if I read this right. So we have our constructor, public operation context with our HTTP accessor. Yep, that's right. Okay, let's just keep going here for a second. And then
What was here? I didn't see.
So FTP context cannot be used as. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what happens when you start talking. This is our audit log, not our FTP context, because we're
great.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, that makes sense. Great.
And
so
then
then,
instead of an AppDB context there on line 11, it would be an audit log, right?
Yes, thank you. Great. I just typed A and I hit tab.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so then down here, this is where like user.
This is where you map.
Yeah, so you can do something like a audit log. It's this guy, audit entry dot user ID equals user dot get user. It's something like that. It's user dot get user ID. So this user is on your base class here, and it's just a claim. This will return null right now because we don't have users.
But we're not going to set
when if we ever do set users up, this is where you'd kind of do that. So again, you don't need to implement this right now, but just implementing.
So it just comes with the basics, everything that you need, like, hey, what table, what object type are you changing, what field are you changing, what kind of change it was, the date, time, things like that.
Yep. Okay, so that's all set up. This we have to import, I think. There we go. Okay, that's all set up. We added 2 new DB sets. We do have to run a migration, and we do have to run Coalesce. So let's just run the
So the migration is just going to add all that stuff to a new migration so that when we start up, the database gets the right tables in it. And then we're going to run Coalesce because we now have to make endpoints for all the audit.
Okay, so Coalesce ran. This is going. And as soon as that's done, we can go to the front end.
Now so we still have some work on the front end because we've really just done stuff in the data project at this point.
Yes, because we want to be able to display this information on the front end. So this will all work. You don't actually, okay, where we are right now, if you start doing stuff on the front end, it's all going to start logging.
We're good.
We can go to the front end, we can make some changes. We can look at the database and you'll see the changes logged there.
But it's way better if we had, so do we have to roll our own UI?
Oh, of course not. You never have to roll your own UI.
Because audit logging UIs are actually, well, it's simple. Hey, let's just show you the table.
Yeah. They're very similar to like the C admin pages. So, I mean, you're going to look and it's going to be very similar looking UI.
But having a nice audit logging UI to me is like, it is worth its, it doesn't really weigh anything. It's worth its weight in gold. But it really is nice because you can then go back and determine exactly where changes were made.
Yeah, it is nice. And you can roll your own UI, to be clear. I mean, you don't have to use the built-in one.
This is just Coalesce.
Yeah,
again,
it's the same idea with the admin tables. I mean, you can totally use those, but as soon as you want to do something more like interesting looking or nicer, no, I think it's kind of nice, the audit logging page.
Well, no, the admin tables.
The admin table.
Yeah, they get the job done. It's not like having Excel.
But the audit logging page,
the audit logging page,
you just want Excel there. So.
The audit logging page is pretty nice.
I don't know. You can always override it though. Okay.
See, we're talking it up. The audit logging page is horrible. Like, don't have high expectations.
Yeah, I mean it is an Excel page, but
that's all you. So now we pop over to the web project and we have to run.
Okay, so
do we run Coalesce in the web project?
Yeah, you're talking too much. You missed it.
So we
ran a migration. So over here, all we have to do is let's just go to our router. In our router, we just have to come and add our little audit page. And here, I'll just kind of move. See, just copy the docs. It's really easy.
But now, where do we get that?
Oh, where do we get that? We come up here and we say C admin. I have it in my clipboard, so there it is. Again,
This is
is
included as part of Coalesce.
this is all shown. This is all you've got to do. See, it's shown right in the
Great.
doc.
So I don't have to add a new NPM package to get this.
Nope.
Okay.
This is part of the Coalesce view to
So there
find.
is kind of a split. So I have to get.
You have to add the NuGet package.
You have to add the NuGet package, but it's going to come. If you were to just build out all these things and make it look exactly right, it would still work. If you use the front end against whatever your own back end is, it could potentially work. But you just will use the NuGet package on the back end to make it all go.
For sure. Okay. Let's fire.
Let's see what happens.
It should work. Now, just to be clear, I put this in my router. I didn't put it in my sidebar, so we'll have to just.
Let's just stick in the sidebar. The app's running, but
we'll
we can change. This is I love this. You can actually change the app while it's starting. Like how cool is that?
Grant does not want to have an ugly page, so we will go add this to the sidebar. Maybe we'll put it right above the admin pages.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hold on, things are lagging because it's starting. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna do admin / what was it? Just audit log.
You can set the
audit logs.
logs.
I would have gotten that wrong.
Copy that, paste in there.
I don't know any good things off the top of my head.
Is there FA-audit? I'll find something.
Maybe like document, FA document. Oh, that's not a thing. FA page. FA book. There we go. I got a book.
You find one?
You just gotta guess the words until they, or you can go to the actual page. But
hey, look at that. Cool. It's legit.
Look at that.
Look, there's nothing in the audit logs. They don't work. What's going on?
So
we haven't made a change yet, have we?
Yeah, because we've made changes in the past, but we didn't have audit logs.
We have audit logs. First, okay, so let's go change
something. Okay, so let's go edit. I don't know, just any of these, I guess.
Is one of them wrong? Maybe.
Yeah, I think they're all correct, actually. Well,
why don't we put quotes around Red Planet?
Okay, yeah, we're done.
As soon as the quote Red Planet.
There we go. See, I don't want. It's hard when you don't want to edit anything. I think we have auto save.
Okay, now,
but I don't.
Should we change the answer to?
Sure, let's do like. Let me not change the correct answer.
That's not even a planet.
Well, then you better not guess it.
What did we add?
Oh yeah. What did I just get rid of? Venus?
Venus. And now let's delete Pluto.
Oh wait, what happened? The text in the question field. We may have a bug
here.
Here.
Yeah, because we're not setting the question
I feel like this used to work.
I think it might have, but we may have a little issue we have to go look at.
We broke something. Anyway, it's okay. We've made 2 changes, so for the purpose of the audit logs.
Yeah, we should have some audit logs now.
Oh, look at that. Lots of audit logs.
Wow, look at this. Fantastic.
Okay, so they're a little bit hard to read.
Maximize that, but let's there we go. Fantastic.
There we go. I'll zoom in a little too. Okay, somewhat hard to read at first, especially because they're all based on IDs, but it's very verbose of what is going on here. So you can see what is known as the red planets. This is where we were.
So there's a little bit of appreciation here. So number one, as you come to that first one, the entity, it's not only going to show you the ID. So it's an answer, and there's the ID, and it's going to give you whatever the text name is. Mm-hmm. So if you label with kind of the text, whatever the name is, attribute.
If you guys remember, we did have to specify that with text. If this is just called name, though, it will work.
Work totally. But that's going to show you right there, so you can see that it's Venus, but it does give you the ID, and then it's going to show you who changed it. So this was deleted, and this is in reverse order.
Yeah. Right? And this will show you who changed it if you hook up a user ID, but we don't have a user ID.
So we'll eventually.
We have no idea who changed this.
Yeah, don't know, but it will show you. And then in this case, here were the properties, the old properties, and there's nothing in the new one because it's a delete.
Yep.
So there's just the old values. And again, it shows us not only when we have the answer or the question ID, what the question ID was, but what it was known as. So that you get the text value in it too.
So maybe my save did go through.
It looks like it did. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Something happened. There's a little issue.
Because I saved it and then I deleted it.
We've changed
separate UI bug.
We have not been testing well. We should probably come for unit testing at some point.
Maybe, because we keep changing things and breaking other things. And you can see this is the latest stuff. So this is what I did most recently. And then this is the first thing that we did, right?
And in this case,
it's you have old and new.
Yep. Oh, yeah. There you can see exactly what changed. Again, so useful when you're trying to debug production issues, right? And so secure this page if you don't want everybody looking at all of your audit logs. The other thing to note, the client IP address. That doesn't look like a v4 address, but because we do have an IPv6 address here that we're using. So you would normally see if you're a public IP and you have an IPv4 address and you're running on a public website, And you're not all the IPv6 all the way through. You're probably going to see an IPv4 address in there somewhere. So, but it does support both. And we need to do some filtering.
Oh yeah, so you can definitely.
So this is kind of nice.
So you can do things that are added. Things. Luckily, we have all 3 of these.
We do. This is great.
And then modifications, and then you can do key values. So if I just wanted to see, well, I think they'll all. Oh no, they won't all be the same key value because some of them are answers. So see that one, it shows up for just the answer, which
so you can see once you find the thing that you're looking for, you can.
Like, so a good example is like here, I know that this question is the one I'm looking for, right? So if I put that key value in, I can see all the stuff related to that question.
Every time that question's changed. No, it's not children.
Yeah,
it's just itself. So you kind of have to, you still have to do a little bit of spelunking around to find that.
But this is where you could implement your own admin page.
Totally, so right. If you wanted to be able to see what the parent was of a certain thing, to be able to look at it, like let's say you had a relatively fixed data structure, you could really easily go in and implement.
And you can search, what is this one again?
This would be like a question. I think it's the name of the type. Or
right. It's like this. So yeah, question or answer. And like if I put category, nothing would show up.
We don't have a category class.
We haven't. Yeah.
No changes in this case.
Yeah.
No changes.
We have. I thought we do have a category class.
So if we went in and changed category, if we added a category in the admin page, it would.
Yeah. Or even if this would show up as a question.
It shows up as a question.
Yeah.
So in order to get the category to change, we have to go to the admin pages, change our place.
But yeah, you get the idea. And it's got paging and all that, which is very nice. So very similar looking to the admin pages. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a pretty good overview of how to get the audit logging stuff. And as you can see here, like tons of functionality for not very much work.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do with this. We covered the first couple paragraphs of the docs. So I'd recommend going to the docs.
We'll link that in the description.
Yeah, learning more about the audit logging. So this will get you started, but you should go learn more about if you want to customize it.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Meg. That was a great tour. Oh, what by the way, what are those numbers over on the left-hand side?
The left-hand, these guys?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Do I know what these are? I wonder if this is save times time. Oh, there you go. Time delta from the preceding row.
Oh, nice. So you can see.
It's a tooltip.
Well, that's really cool because what that shows you. So if you then zoom in on just, hey, how often was this saved? And I go look for a particular question.
Yeah.
I can see how long it was in between those different changes. That's super cool.
Well, that's nice. There's I actually have never noticed these tooltips before, but if you hover over some of these things, they'll tell you exactly what they are. Like that's the key. Well, that one's obvious. This is the type, and then it gives you a more verbose date.
Oh, in UTC and in.
Wow, learning something new.
So very nice.
Very cool.
Okay, great. Well, hey, thanks again for joining us on this Coalesce podcast, and keep on building awesome Coalesce apps.
Thanks all.